Well, what do we have here? Netflix. The First Temptation of Christ. Do you have Netflix? Hmm? Now, here we are in the purge of 2019. And you gotta wonder the amount of astonishing hypocrisy that is on display with YouTube is absolutely astonishing. Where you're not allowed to criticize other people or make fun of other people, of course, unless you are kosher approved. Right? And so we're in this era here where we're going to see, we're seeing the destruction of freedom of speech, the attempted destruction of the Second Amendment happening at the same time. Can't even cover that stuff. I would love to be able to talk about those shootings that always seem to happen in synagogues. But you're not allowed to talk about that stuff because freedom of speech is dead. YouTube is a monopoly, which means that they should be illegal and all. But here we are. So what people need to realize, of course, is that my videos probably have a very limited shelf life on this platform. That's how I'm going to try to do these things. I'll put up a video and maybe premiere it or maybe do a live show and then take it down. Stick it up on BitChute or something else after, just to hopefully evade the Orwellian censorship that is all around us. But here you go. Netflix, why would anybody be surprised? They do this stuff all the time. It's just every day. Netflix. So the first temptation of Christ here, Jesus, who's hitting the big 3-0, brings a surprise guest to meet the family, a Christmas special so wrong it must be from the comedians Porta dos Fundos. So there's getting quite a bit of heat, and thanks to innovation, before I forget, in the media. There's quite a few stories coming up. You got the Mary Sue. Isn't that interesting? The Mary Sue. Did Netflix really make a gay Jesus movie? Netflix comedy sees 1 million petition for its removal. Over 1.3 million signed petition. Netflix satire. Gay Jesus infuriates thousands of Brazilians. Look, I like comedy, all right? And I want to say something about comedy right now. Because who's the guy that sings Throw the Jew Down the Well? I wonder who that is. Who is that? Who is that guy that sings Throw the Jews Down the Well? I wonder who that is. Could he be the guy that was at the ADL saying that we need to destroy freedom of speech? Do you see YouTube employees, YouTube heroes, vloggers, whatever you call yourself, vloggers, heroes, moderators, right? Whatever you are, do you not see the incredible hypocrisy of a guy that does movies where he's doing skits saying throw the Jew down the well, and then he's saying we need to get rid of all these people that say anything about anything, especially if you talk about a certain group of people. And then at the same time that they're doing this, and they're wiping it out, and they're making Holocaust classes mandatory, and they're passing anti-Semitism bills here, there, and everywhere. They're making fun of Jesus on a daily basis. Now, I'm cool with comedy, but I think comedy's terrible these days because it's no longer, I don't know if it ever was free and, a place where you could just insult anything and anyone and everyone sort of thing. I think it depends who you are, how many deals you've signed, whether you've signed your name in blood, you're doing the big shows, the big gigs, whether you're on the just for laughs sort of thing. But I see comedy today is kind of silly in a sense, not in the sense that they want us to see it, but in a sense that it has no teeth. You can't make fun of anything because somebody's going to get offended. So you have to be careful what you make fun of. But it's okay if you're Ethan Klein. Or it's okay if you're Sacha Baron Cohen. It's okay if you're Jerry Seinfeld, I guess. I don't know. It's okay that if you're certain people, you can do whatever. But if you're other people, you can't do anything or somebody's going to be offended. I mean, can you make fun of fat people? Can you make fun of Chinese people? Can you make fun of black people? You can make fun of white people. That I'm definitely sure of. I'm 100% sure that white people are open season. In fact, you could do whole skits, make fun of white people, and I'm sure they would probably get you on the circuit, and maybe you get a sitcom and stuff like that. Who knows? But yeah, this is the latest here. And again, I wanted to say that about comedy is like there's a few areas that if I was a comedian, and in some ways what I do, it is a bit of a comedy act. I like to file my videos under comedy. I wouldn't make fun of someone's religion. Right? Not maybe in private, maybe with a small group of friends. Nobody's got their smartphone recording everything you do. There isn't some drone or some Alexa in the room, NSA device recording everything, because that's where it's all going, by the way. I mean, it's all going there. There was a story yesterday that I caught. I should try to find this. We'll say CBC plane drunk. I think that'll come up something. Yeah, okay, here. Two terrible white men. Dave Beck and Thomas Scott deny their races, say they were drunk and have paid a heavy price. I was looking for the video for this and I couldn't find it. It's because I wanted to, maybe include it in a whole sort of presentation. But there's like two white guys that were working and they were apparently on a plane and they were making fun of indigenous people. So two men at the center of a storm of controversy related to their racist behavior aboard a flight this week were offering public apologies to the indigenous peoples of Labrador and their families. Dave Beck and Thomas Scott, they're both from St. John's and have worked many years as plasterers and painters. They had been working on a hotel renovation at the Nalcor-owned Churchill Falls for nearly 3 weeks, employed by Mount Pearl Company called Cancody Enterprises. With their work just complete, they boarded a flight on Monday, and the work's done. But they boarded a flight on Monday to return to their homes. But their drunken, rude, and racist actions inside close confines of a Dash 8 airplane led to their vilification in social media, firing from their jobs and banishment from Churchill Falls and PAL Airlines. The two men spoke publicly for the first time on Thursday. Both men said they're not racist. I'm not racist. I would say culturally uneducated, culturally illiterate. You need more Disney, dude. You gotta get Netflix. Hey guys, get Netflix. The Jesus is gay. Jesus loves gays. I was intoxicated, Beck told CBC News during an interview at his kitchen table in the Goulds area of St. John's. I know that's not an excuse for the remarks I made. My words that hurt so many people, especially indigenous people. I'm not racist. I would say culturally uneducated, culturally illiterate. Scott also agreed to an interview and was equally contrite. I am sick to my stomach. I can't eat. My family is ashamed of me. I'm a terrible white person. And I feel bad for the people that we disrespected. And here's a photo of the alleged incident here. So the photo of Scott left and Beck was taken by a passenger. Maybe a rainbow unicorn. Who knows? During a flight from Labrador to St. John's on Monday, both men said they were paying a steep price. They don't really tell you what they said. My job is gone. One of the best employers I've had. I've had no income now whatsoever. I'll live on savings until that's gone, and then we'll take it there. So this guy's done. Let's just say, let's put the Brothers Grimm tales aside and whatever. Let's just say this is 100% kosher, right? It actually happened. Let's just say that two guys got drunk and they said some things on a plane, right, that were insulting. Now, let's just think about this and the further implications about this. One, it means no matter where you are, anything you say is probably going to be caught, whether it be on somebody else's smartphone or on a camera, or by one of those NSA surveillance devices that you put in your bedrooms and your children's bedrooms and your kitchens. Hey, Alexa. Hey, Alexa, do I need to wear a coat outside? I don't know. I mean, hey, Alexa, do you know where I can get milk and eggs? So think about this. I just want you to think about this. Like, people have been rude throughout history. It's just something you deal with. All right? Some people, I've been on flights, I've been on trains so many times, and there's always, the old saying, there's always an a-hole sort of thing, right? And usually if there's an incident, it happens, it's just it, right? Okay, whatever, a bunch of, a couple drunken idiots, whatever, right? But not anymore. No, now it's going to be front page news. Now it's going to be a week-long story. It might even go international. Now you're going to lose your job. You're not going to be, look, with these guys, they're finished. They're plastered all over the media, so their reputations are done, right? If we go by this story as being what, a real story sort of thing, right? So they've been fired. They've lost their jobs. They're probably not going to be able to find employment. So, what? For being drunk and saying some insensitive things about Indigenous people? And that's why I wanted to see the video, because even if it's a Brothers Grimm tale, I was like, see the video. Are they vocally, sort of verbally assaulting people? Are they just, making comments about them amongst themselves? But this is a narrative. Hey, Jeff C., can you prove that? Yes, I can. Glad you asked. Let's just ask, who runs the NHL, by the way? I'm wondering. Probably people, I'll talk about, but let's just say NHL. You know the NHL, right? The National Hockey, used to be a Canadian Hockey League. Not anymore. It's a Disney League now. Anyways, so NHL, and we'll say, well, they said culture, right? He's culture, so let's put culture. Let's just put NHL culture. How about that? Yeah, good answer. All right, NHL culture. Look at good thing. Google. I'm feeling lucky. Look at what we got. Who's this guy, by the way? Who's this rat-faced person? Oh, let's say that. Sorry, YouTube community. I didn't mean. He's a very handsome man. He's a lovely person. I'm sure he's a wonderful person. YouTube community, please understand. Don't fire me, please. Don't put me in prison. No, yeah. Hextall on hockey, NHL coaches and culture, CC, culture change, of course. Nervous NHL aims to cleanse its culture, pardon me. Brutal hockey culture needs to change. Isn't that interesting? Bad white Canadians. Bad white people. You made your sport too white. There's too many white people. That's the problem. Too many. I agree. Look at this. You got a sport, people on skates, comes from Nordic countries where there's lots of ice and people don't get a whole lot of sun, and they got pale skin, they're white, and they're terrible people because they don't have enough diversity. How many transgenders do you have on your hockey team? Not enough, I would say. GLAD says you need 20%, and next year it'll probably be 30%. Before long it'll be 75%. Maybe then they'll be, satisfied. But as you see, culture. A whole bunch of coaches have been fired. I don't even know how many now. It's like half a dozen now. They've all been fired because they did bad things. Things that coaches do, like they berate their players, or they say bad things. And coaches, they're not rocket scientists. They're not SJW, cultural Marxist frickin' academics, right? They didn't go to get programmed for 10 years in Rothschild education. They just kind of, learned hockey, and they're in hockey, and they got old small town sort of ways of doing things, and sometimes they do things that, coaches do to try to get results out of their players. And yeah, probably not the best things to do, but you know what? Whatever. You're supposed to be a man when you're playing a sport like hockey, right? But no, we got to change everything. Everything has to change. The whole culture, code of conduct, CC, of course, again, culture change, CC. 33, man, it's all over. Look at all these stories. Wow, it's just my word. You would think, like, I don't know, a few stadiums were blown up or something, and, or a whole bunch of white people were lynching black hockey players. I don't know. I'm merely speculating, Susan. But, I mean, isn't this amazing? And then you say, well, how does this happen, Jeff C? And I say, I don't know. Who runs the sports? That's all they would say, I guess. I mean, you stab in the dark. Who runs the sports? Oh, that explains it. Yeah, that's it. Good answer. Good answer. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, as you see, I mean, this is how it works. So, back to this story here for a second. He said what happened on the flight was not his typical behavior. The embarrassment that I caused my sons, my daughter, my wife, my family, my friends, my community, my hometown, my people, my race, my family. I'm truly sorry. Okay, he's truly sorry. Give the guy a break. I mean, you plastered his name all over. He lost his job. How about giving him a break? He was drunk. Nope. Beck said he would agree to meet with Indigenous leaders if necessary, while Scott said he plans to write a letter of apology. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should start flailing yourself. I don't know. I mean, walk down the street. Shame. I hurt me family. This is the CBC, Canadian Brainwashing Corporation, publicly funded by Canadian taxpayers. They will want your kids to embrace the rainbow, of course. I hurt me family. A lot of me friends are hateful towards me, and I'm very, 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 very sorry for it, said Thomas Scott. Maybe it's the Newfoundland thing. I don't know. It hurts me. I mean, it's like, it's crazy because you're like, what did he say? What did they say? They don't tell you. They just over and over. These guys are like squirming and flopping all over the place, saying, oh, please, I'm sorry, please, just let me live. Stick me in a pit, and throw me breadcrumbs. Just let me live, please. It hurts me. It hurts my company. It hurts the company that I worked for the last 20 years. I hurt me family. I hurt a lot of me friends, me this, me that. They were intoxicated when they boarded. Okay, maybe finally we're going to get some answers. They were already publicly intoxicated when they boarded the flight at Churchill Falls and continued to drink beer purchased on the flight. And now they're going to, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, they can't drink beer on the flight anymore. It's going to be terrible. As passengers boarded the flight during a stopover in Happy Valley. Not so Happy Valley. Now they're going to change the name. We're like, SJW has protested to change the name of Happy Valley because of the Scott incident, Methinks there's time for me changing here. Anyways, as passengers boarded the flight during a stopover in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Beck used the derogatory term Eskimo. What's the big deal about that anyways? Really? Eskimo? Doesn't they make Eskimo jokes? Was it Brendan Schwab? Brendan Schwab? Let's just see that. Can we look that up? Google. Hey, what does Rogan say? Hey, Jamie, Google that. Can you Google that? Okay, let's just try that. Let's put Schwab, Eskimo. Let's just try that. I don't know if I spell. Yeah, there you go. Brendan Schwab says Eskimo. Burn him at the stake. I don't know. I mean, it's an insult if you want it to be. Now, I know the NIGGER thing is, I don't use it, right? Sometimes I let it slip out. It's come on, YouTube. It's never would I want to ever, like, demean a black person or any person. I don't do that. That's not the type of person I am. I might make fun of you. That doesn't mean I don't give a damn what color you are. Everybody knows that. It listens to me. I make fun of white people way more than I make fun of anybody else. But then if I do make fun of a black person, people need to understand, hey, I'm open. I'm always making fun. Anyways, I digress. Brendan Schwab. So, this is just an example. It's like, is Eskimo, is it really that horrible of a term? I mean, does it have to be? Can you be proud to be an Eskimo? I mean, there's a team in Canada called the Edmonton Eskimos. They're the greatest football team in Canadian history. Warren Moon used to play for them. I think he won like 5 Grey Cups or 6 Grey Cups or something? Something ludicrous. You know Warren Moon? He played for the Houston... What were they? Not the Astros. Houston... I don't know. I don't follow NFL. But Warren Moon was a prolific NFL player. But before he was a prolific NFL player, he played for the Edmonton Eskimos. So what? Did they change the name? So why is using the term Eskimo so bad? If you got a Canadian football team that's named Eskimo, why would it be so bad? Shame! Shame! Shame. Well, they'll change that. I mean, that'll be the next thing. What do you know? Probably out of this story, they'll be like, now SJW's petition to have the term Eskimo or the name of the Eskimo, Edmonton Eskimos, changed. But that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, okay, what did they do? So they said Eskimo to describe an Indigenous person. What's so bad about that? Prompting Scott to remark. And again, can you smell him? Well, maybe he smells. I don't know. Maybe, frick. Okay, here's... Hey, Jamie, Google that. Right? I mean, Eskimo, a member of an Indigenous people... hey, ban Google! Ban them! Ban them! They called an Indigenous person an Eskimo. Google! Ban it! Burn it! Burn it down. No, I'm joking. YouTube community, please. YouTube heroes, it's under comedy. Look, I'm a comedian. Anyways... A member of an Indigenous people inhabiting northern Canada, Alaska, Greenland, and the eastern Siberia, traditionally living in by hunting. What's so bad about that? I would be happy. I'd be thrilled to be an Eskimo. I'd be like, yeah, at least I'm not some fat, useless, donut eating, slob. And either of the two main languages spoken by Indigenous people. So I mean, like, what? And then if they say did you smell him? Maybe the guy hasn't taken a shower in a month. Maybe he's, a drunken Inuit. Oh no, burn him. He said that. I mean, come on. Look, I love Inuit people, probably more than any peoples out there, YouTube community. I think they're amazing. I talk about them all the time. I say, look at these people. Now I feel nothing but, I mean, I do feel sympathy, but I also feel anger when I see what's happened to them because of the Mick food and the Mick culture invading their little towns. I think they would be way better off living their traditional lifestyles. Right? Hunting seals, hunting caribou, living off this frozen tundra and thriving, eating their seal meat and their whale meat and everything, the blubber and the, I mean, I think they're amazing. But here you go, right? I mean, Eskimo, there are some Eskimos, there are some Inuits that what happens is in the Indigenous people. There are Indigenous people, like here in Montreal, we got a lot of them in a certain area that they can't process alcohol because they never had alcohol in their culture, right? For thousands and thousands of years, Europeans have had alcohol. So our livers and our whole internal chemistry has developed to process alcohol. Natives have a really hard time with alcohol. And so what happens, tragically, is a lot of natives become alcoholics, and they can't really hold their liquor well. And, so I've seen a lot of things in my hometown of Montreal with drunken Inuit people on streets, whether they're begging for money or they're doing something else, which I won't mention, sort of thing, right? But the thing is, like, maybe there was somebody on the plane that hadn't taken a shower in a month or something, and maybe these guys said something. I mean, can you smell it? Grow a pair. I mean, somebody said something. I mean, ugh. Anyways, can you smell them? The incident was witnessed by Innu Nation member and former Labrador. Oh, isn't that?
It's just a coincidence, folks. There's nothing. It's all just a coincidence. There's no way this was set up. There's no way this is the Brothers Grimm story. This is totally kosher. 100% real.
I mean, look at this. This incident was witnessed by Innu Nation member who just happened to be there, former Labrador MP Peter Penashew, and other passengers on the flight. Okay, the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and the Green Giant were sitting in the chair next to them. Both Beck and Scott admits this happened and to an allegation that they mocked an Innu woman speaking her language during a phone call. Their behavior prompted some passengers to begin photographing and videotaping the men. Please show me the videotape. And later publishing imagery and messages on social media and Facebook and Twitter. Scott said he did not realize at the time that he crossed the line. Well, that's it. You're done. You're finished. Burn them! Burn them! drawn and quartered. This is, I mean, how far will it be? I don't know. Just the beer, I guess, and everything else. We just started drinking. I mean, that's what happens sometimes, right? You know, can you just deal with a couple drunks? Does it have to be World War III? I mean, does it have to be like this huge incident? Does it have to make the news? Okay, there's a couple drunks. You know, maybe somebody just shut up to put them in their place. Hey, how about you shut up? You know, somebody with a pair of balls who's intimidating could just turn to them and say, shut up. That's what I would do. I'd just tell them to shut up. And then it would be done. No CBC articles, no firing, no losing everything, not, I'm ruined. Anyways. And then they had the simulated sex thing here, which they didn't even corroborate. They just said somebody said that they were simulating sex. So there was an allegation that Scott simulated sex with one of the flight attendants as he stood behind. You know how many times my friends have done this? I grew up with like sports jocks and all this crap. And when we were on flights and train things and there's hot babes around, people are always horsing around. So what? Burn them! Burn them! I mean, it's out of this world. We're not going to be able to do anything. That guy looked at me funny. You know what I mean? Like, you turn around, you're going to look at somebody, and somebody's going to capture it. You're going to be done. It's over with. Look, we can tell Google Analytics analyzing the facial expression on the person that looked at the other person. We could tell that the person had nasty thoughts on their mind, racist thoughts. I mean, it's out of this world. This is why I bring up this story, by the way. I mean, obviously, right? So there's an allegation that he did this, prompting her to say he was making her uncomfortable. Scott denies it happened, and I never done that. Ain't never done that. While Beck said he was sitting near the window and never left his seat. So who's telling the truth? No, we'll just publish it anyways because we're the CBC. We want your kids on Rainbow Unicorn Valley. Scott also denies that he remained belligerent once he arrived at the airport in St. John's. Witnesses said he loudly said he would not be apologizing. How the dominoes fell. I mean, look at this story. Look at the 2 men fired, contractor turf. There's Fallout. I mean, like what? Fallout is like a bomb went off. A nuclear bomb went off in Eskimo land. No, you said Eskimo. Burn them. I mean, it's out of this world. Why, what? Look at where we're going, folks. They are going to crucify people before long. I mean, they are going to crucify people publicly because they said something or they looked at something or they... Anyways, 2 men banned from PAL flights. As the word of the incident began to spread, why does it need to spread? Why don't you just put a cap on it? It's just a small little thing. You know how many times, I can't even tell, you know how many times I've been in flights and having to deal with some drunkard or some crabby old woman or something. I mean, do you have to make an article? Does it have to become a nationwide? And it's like, I can't say things. There's like things I was going to say about the CBC. And I was going to say, do they have to, have their pundits? And then if I said something, right? If I said something type of, politically correct political commentators that they have doing their news. I mean, you can't even tell the sex of the people that are doing the CBC these days. You're just like looking at them. Are they real? Are they androids? Oh no. I mean, look at Google, right? Google is like, you can't make fun of anyone. It's like, well with John Oliver and what's his name there? Stephen Colbert and all those guys, they make fun of people all day long. H3H3, Ethan Klein, always making fun of people. How comes they're on trending? How comes they could do it? We can't. I don't know. It's different strokes for different folks. If you're white, it's not all right. I mean, it's out of this world. And this all stacks together. We need to change. This is why I bring up this story. I bring up these Brothers Grimm stories because I want to show you how the Brothers Grimm stories are being used to program the masses into this need for everything needs to change. We need to wipe out freedom of speech. We can't have people having fun or getting wasted or saying something. I mean, he said Eskimo. Well, he said Eskimo. And it's like, what? I just looked it up. I looked it up here. I said Eskimo. And Google. I mean, what's going on? Why isn't this thing burned to the ground? I mean, it's like... If Google says an Eskimo is just an indigenous person, then why is it an insult? Oh, it's an insult because, we're going to use it in the story. And oh my God, It's it's just painful, this stuff. It's out of this world. It's out of this world. It is. What are you going to do? What are we going to do? I mean, they're going to look at somebody and they're going to chop your head off. I mean, this is, look at this fallout. The fallout continue. Why does the fallout continue? Because the Canadian Brainwashing Corporation is using it to the nth degree. For all we know, they concocted the whole damn thing. The fallout continued Wednesday afternoon. So, yeah, so look at this. Nalcor banished. They're banished from the town. What? Because they said Eskimo? Oh, did you smell the guy? Oh, ban him! I mean, this is out of this world. This is out of this world. I mean, that's why I wanted to see the tape, but they don't provide you the tape, probably because the tape is probably not very good, not very convincing anyways. So the fallout continues. So they're banned from the town. They're fired. They're banned from Churchill Falls. You know, now they're banned from Upper Churchill Hydro Generating Station. The fallout continued Wednesday with the general contractor on the hotel renovation project, Enercon Builders of St. John's, announcing it had fired Ken Cody, which was hired as a subcontractor. What? Now they fired this. Beck and Scott are the only two. Ken Cody. Now, I mean, like, what? Oh, and Ken Cody followed up the statement saying Beck and Scott had been fired. So even though they fired these guys, they still fire this guy or this company. This is extremely unfortunate and disappointing, as the actions of two employees in no way reflect the values and integrity of the company. So the Ken Cody company. Owner Kevin Hackett wrote in a statement to the BBC News. With publications badly tarnished, Becky Scott, cross-country skiing, winter? I don't know. You're not supposed to think. Just pull up that melon. Pull it up. Whack. Whack. Yes, chunk yogurt. Yes. Whoop Blitzer, please. I love Disney. Elsa needs a lesbian. You know, I mean, like, what are we doing? How does this happen? Why CBC? Why do we have the CBC? Please, God, do something about the CBC. Please, God, please. I mean, defund the CBC and then arrest the CBC and then put the CBC on trial. I don't know. I'm barely speculating, Susan. So with the reputations badly tarnished, Becky Scott, and you're like, what is he talking about? Becky Scott. Yeah, Becky Scott. Well, what does Becky Scott do? Well, Becky Scott is a cross-country skier. Anyways, go back to your mind control. I don't know if I could tell you I have a lot of remorse for this right now. Here's the author to Terry. Don't worry, this story's kosher. Came straight from the lodge. Got my job in the CBC. Now I'm gonna be I'm gonna be accused of whatever. I mean, it's out of this world. It's out of this world. It just goes on, and this is so. We'll get back to the Jesus thing here. You know. I mean, seriously, why would you mock someone's religion? I mean, it's obviously extremely important to folks. So you see the difference here, the different strokes for different folks? Like, think about this. This is why I brought up the Becky Scott story, all right? Look at the contrast. So some drunken guys on an airplane, couple drunken guys, allegedly, there's no video proof offered, there's nothing, allegedly said some offensive things. What did they allegedly say? They called someone an Eskimo, and they said, did you smell them? They're fired. They're banned, they're disgraced, they're dragged through the media, their reputations are ruined, their income's ruined, everything's ruined, and they're burned at the stake. Before, they're first drawn and quartered, then they're burned at the stake. I mean, almost literally at this point. And yet, here you go, Netflix, YouTube approved. Hey, it's only a joke. They can make shows that are mocking people's religious beliefs, the most popular religion in the world, Christianity, and it's perfectly acceptable. Perfectly kosher. Perfectly kosher to suggest that Jesus Christ was gay. And they've been doing this for a long time. And they got this guy here, this joker. What are you going to say, too? I mean, this guy's making a living. He's making probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years millions of years, millions of dollars off his YouTube channel. And this is the kind of stuff that he does. He calls himself Jesus Christ. He acts like he's Jesus Christ. He says his dad is a pedo. Now, what are the YouTube guidelines? You can't say things about people. You can't make unfounded accusations against people. You can't bully people. You can't harass people. But this guy is allowed to go and completely uncorroborated and accuse his father of being a pedophile and make multiple videos and then make all kinds of money, and then he's selling dildos with penis symbolism and, anal dildo, whatever, 50% off your first, at his adamandeve.com, coupon, CC, of course, coupon code AMEN. I mean, think of this. Think of what has happened to YouTube, how atrocious YouTube is, how egregious and incredibly selective their censorship is. That they allow characters like this not only flourish, but they trend them. They use their biggest YouTube celebrities to push them. I mean, this guy's popping up with everyone here. All these YouTube celebrities like Boogie 2,988 pounds and whoever else. I mean, he's down here with Shane Yaw, who's wearing the oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And there he is with Trisha Paytas, who I got video pulled down on Jeff Censored. That's why I can't even use Jeff Censored, because she put up a video saying that she's identifying as a male to female, I don't even know, no, a female to male, transgender, trisexual. And here she's dressed in drag with the oh my god pig shirt. And I get my channel suspended because of that, because I show the hypocrisy of it. Just think about that. And there he is wearing the crown of thorns. Right? Yuck, yuck, yuck. Think of that. So this video is not going to stay up on YouTube. I mean, it'll go up, it'll premiere, and then as soon as it's uploaded, I'll just take it down. Right? But, I mean, this is the whole thing about this. When you look up Jesus Christ, I'll just show you. You look up Jesus Christ here. This is what you get. You get this joker. And now he's getting sympathy. Look at this. Help by donating to Jesus. PayPal. He's got on his thing here, I'll show you. I've showed this before, but look at this. Look how many different things he's got here. Jesus Fiverr. Do you know about Fiverr, the corporation that first brought in the first Google purge, or YouTube purge, with PewDiePie using Fiverr to get a couple Indians to hold up signs saying death to Jews? The Wall Street Journal, do you remember that? Susan Wojcicki saying we're going to change things. Fiverr is a corporation located in Tel Aviv. Not sure which country that is. Twitch, Cameo, Mixer, Judas the doggo, Instagram. So his dog has an Instagram. His dog is named Judas. Collection plate, web page, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, PayPal. Astonishing. 25 million, almost 26 million views. The Son of God is on YouTube. Praise be. How is this? How come you're allowed to mock the most popular religion in the world that billions of people take very seriously? I would never do that. You could have an intellectual discussion about the merits or the validity of that. That's fine. And, like, I wouldn't make fun of Muhammad. I wouldn't make fun of Allah. Like, because, like, what Just Sweet Charlie, when I covered the whole Just Sweet Charlie, the Brothers Grimm tale of Just Sweet Charlie and all those things that happened in France. Well, those guys were putting up things about Allah and that he was a pedo and that he was using dildos and all kinds of crap on their front pages. And it's like, like their religion in Islam says you cannot, first of all, you cannot idolize. I mean, you can't put Allah as an idol or as an image, but you certainly can't ridicule him. In fact, it calls for the death of people that do that sort of thing. Why are you messing with that? If there's over 1 billion people that believe in that religion and that's how they guide their lives, why would you come and mess with that? You have to have respect. You have to draw the line, right? But this is what YouTube is. And I showed this joker's videos here. Me Too accusations because his ex-wife. I mean, I don't know how much of it's all the Big Brothers Grimm. There he is making the 666, of course. Meet Judas, his dog. Right? There he is with the Team Trees, of course. Team Trees. Which all the YouTube employees, the Shilly D's and all the rest were pushing. Exposing the truth, my dad. This is the video here that he puts up. And he's saying his dad was a pedophile. Now, maybe that's true, but let's just think about this. If YouTube puts out these guidelines saying you cannot say things about people, you cannot make accusations, you cannot bully people, you cannot even really criticize people, how is this guy allowed to put up videos in which he's getting 1 million views and it's featured on trending? In which he's accusing his dad of being a pedophile. Now, I showed this in my videos, which are available on BitChute, by the way, because I couldn't risk keeping them up here. Of course, Jeff Censored was hit. But I showed how, like, in many ways, it was an allegory for God, for the Christian God, that he was saying that God was basically a pedo in the videos. That this is what it was. And here he is with the pride, of course. Jesus goes to Pride Parade. Right? And he goes around pretending he's Jesus Christ. Like okay, I think most people know it's a joke, but he doesn't act like it's a joke. He says he's Jesus Christ, right? So that's what he says, right? The Son of God is on YouTube. Praise be. The Lord will respond. And he does all these things where you go and you pay him money and he'll do some sort of mock miracle for you. It's unbelievable. Here he is looking like the Big Lebowski kind of thing, right? It's all a big joke. As I showed here, I mean, he's celebrating getting 666s. He's appearing with all the YouTube shills over and over again. And then he's selling dildos. So again, think about that. And then when you think about this, so we go back to this Jesus Christ and, you know, they say Brazilian, but you wonder, right? Okay, the Brazilian, what does that mean? Are they Brazilian or are they something else? Can they just morph and identify as Brazilian? And then you can say, oh, it's just Brazilians. No, the guy doesn't look Brazilian. Right? Whatever. I don't know who these jokers are. They say these are the stars of this thing. And this is, it's a comedy. Yeah, but you're making fun of something that people find very sacred. I mean, it's the biggest religion in the world. So here's a petition here. And I guess this is started in Brazil, where there's now, look at how many people have signed this now. Almost 1.5 million people. Do you think YouTube's going to take this down? Do you think YouTube would censor this crap? And again, the important thing to realize about Netflix, I mean, if you have a Netflix subscription, I mean, seriously, what's the matter with you? Jettison that crap. Don't give them your money ever. If you're going to watch their crap, stream it and don't pay them anything. That's what I say. Important to know this Mark Randolph guy, who's the co-founder and former CEO of Netflix here. And it's very important to point out that he is the eldest child of Stephen Bernays Randolph. So the Austrian-born nuclear engineer, and one of Randolph's great paternal great uncles was psychoanalysis pioneer Sigmund Freud. This guy's a monster and a half. This guy was sick. He thinks everybody wants to sleep with their mother. This is the type of psychoanalysis this guy does. He's a really sick person. And of course, he's the great nephew of this guy, who's the greatest propagandist in American history. There is no greater propagandist in possibly world history. I mean, he's right up there with all the greatest propagandists, right, that you could think of. Gustave Le Bon or, so many others that are out there that mastered the art of programming the herd, basically. Edward Bernays is the pioneer of American propaganda. I mean, the reason why people drink or eat bacon and eggs, for instance, for breakfast was Edward Bernays. I mean, the reason why women are smoking today is because of Edward Bernays. All these things about Edward Bernays. So he was the propagandist that was brought in to control the herd and program the herd into whatever they want. The corporations have used him for decades. The cigarette corporations, and then the governments have used him. And he was very, very active and a huge mentor of course, Henry Kissinger and Ayn Rand and many of the psychopathic scumbags that run the American administration, sort of thing. So it's very important to point all these things out. And that's why I brought up this story, because look at the hypocrisy. So if the story's true and a couple guys said something and they called somebody an Eskimo and they said he smells bad, what's the big deal? I mean, seriously, how is this a story? Why would this happen every day? Who cares? Right? What kind of a world are we going to live in when you can't say anything? Well, maybe you look at somebody, maybe you said something, but it was to somebody else, but somebody else got offended, and they thought it was to them, and then they recorded it, and then it goes on the media, and then next thing you know, CBC's, and your life's ruined, you're fired, everything happens, right? And yet these jokers can do this stuff. The incredible hypocrisy of YouTube, the incredible hypocrisy of the corporate media, the Disney media, that do this on a daily basis. This is out of this world where it goes, right? So Netflix blasted for gay Jesus portrayal. Petition collects more than 1.3 million signatures. Now we're well past 1.5 million. And Christians who signed the change.org petition written in Portuguese called the program offensive to God and Catholics, immoral movie against family, against society, disgusting. It will bring wrath on those who even giggle at the notion that Christ could be tempted into such a perverse way. Other petitions in English have also popped up calling the programs from removal. One of them called the show a direct attack and ridicule. Netflix describes the 46-minute film, which was also available to Canadian subscribers, as a Christmas special so wrong it must be from the comedians of Porta dos Fundos. And then again, remember what I said about comedy. It's like, it depends, right? Certain people are allowed to do whatever you want. You can make fun of certain things. Imagine if you made fun of Judaism like that, you would be ruined. I mean, you would be plastered all over the media in a totally different way, much like the two guys that said the Eskimo word. Translated as backdoor in English, the Brazilian comedy ensemble are known, and that's it, Brazilian. Well, really? Well, maybe? Okay. Are known for their irreverent satire on everything from religion to political corruption. The group, established in 2012, has 1.16 million YouTube subscribers, so I haven't seen their YouTube channel. Here, we'll open it up. There they are. Interesting. They got Santa Claus there. And it's all in Portuguese, so maybe this stuff isn't popular uploads. Cock. Interesting. Menage. I wonder what's going on with that. The Handmaid's Tale. Your feminist, hardcore New World Order programming. So, this is how Brazilians are being programmed here. In the first temptation, Jesus, who is turning 30, brings a special guest to meet his parents, Mary and Joseph. It is implied that Jesus and his male friend are in a sexual relationship. The online entertainment site Decider call the special gleefully blasphemous. Or blasphemous, however you pronounce it. But if we look up the term here, we'll just put this in, just like we did with Eskimo here. The Becky Scott story. Paste, blasphemous. So, hey, look that up. JB, look that up. Definition. Why is it? Oh, yeah, because they've got the game. All right, so blasphemous definition. Sacrilegious against God and sacred things. Profane. The hypocrisy again, folks, which is astonishing. And then highlighted Antonio Tabit's layered portrayal as an arrogant god. The program has stirred anger, especially in Brazil, and Brazil has more than 120 million Brazils, comprised of the world's largest Catholic population. Now you think of the Christ the Redeemer, Rio de Janeiro, like Christianity is huge in Brazil. Its right-wing president, Jair, I don't know how you pronounce this, Jair Bolsonaro, who we've talked about many times before, kind of the Brazilian Trump, if you will, the guy playing the right on the left-right game. A proud homophobe and infamously said that he would prefer a dead son to a gay son, playing his role, right? The controversy was picked up by English-speaking media after Brazilian newspaper Folha de Sao Paulo reported to the petition. The streaming company could not immediately be reached for comment, but earlier told the New York Daily News that it was looking into the issue. This is the second holiday special from Porta do Fundos, which last month won an international Emmy for Best Comedy for last year's Last Hangover, the spoof on the biblical Last Supper and what happens when Jesus' disciples awake the following morning and try to piece together the events of the previous night. Quite something. So, again, just, perusing and compare and contrast these two stories and how incredible this is. Somebody gets drunk, says something, allegedly. I mean, the best that they can come up with this story is that they said Eskimo and they said, did you smell them? And their lives are ruined. I mean, if we go by this Brothers Grimm story, for all we know, these guys are just actors playing a role. But, I mean, should people's lives be ruined because they called someone an Eskimo? Or they didn't even call them. They said it to themselves. Somebody overheard, and then they said, did you smell them? I mean, come on. I say that all the time about people. I'm on an airplane. Did you smell that person? Boy, that person smells. What are you going to do? You're going to ruin me? Well, yes, they will. This is what the whole thing is. In the future, you won't be able to say anything at all about anything. You'll just be sitting there. They're teaching people not to speak. I mean, they are breaking us down and socially, right? They're breaking us down. They're saying you can't say because anything you say and anything you could have said or anything you might have said in the past can be used retroactively against you, like the YouTube terms of commission or terms of service. And the irony that they take down the iDubbbz character, who is deeply connected with H3 Ethan Klein, who are constantly trending on YouTube. I said that's all a part of a greater psyop to push people off, and that's why they're pushing people to BitChute and DLive and stuff, because they want to have peer-to-peer monitoring of your computers. That's my speculation. They want to get all the bad apples off their rainbow unicorn platforms. So this is really crazy where it's going. Just nuts that this stuff, just to show you the incredible hypocrisy of how terrible these things are. And I just, that's for me. I wouldn't go there in terms of humor. And why would you do that? What's so funny about it? Like what are you trying to do? You're like all you're trying to do when you do something like this. You're trying to offend as many people as possible, because people that are pure sort of Catholics, this is not gonna wash down with them. They're not gonna see the humor in this. They're just gonna be insulted. And anybody's religion would be insulted. I mean, if you did the same thing with Muhammad and you depicted Muhammad as being a homo, or you depicted, like Abraham or anything. I mean, if you did these things towards other religions, there would be massive outcry. But it's okay against Christianity, just like it's okay against white people, right? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the discussion here, and I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you can come and support me. Huge thanks to all my Patreons. Huge thanks. Thanks to everybody that supports me. Can't thank you enough. It makes my life easier. So if you can, and you haven't already, please come and support me, because if they clear up my channels, right, it's going to be very difficult. Like, you're not going to get, like, even we're on YouTube, we're totally shadow banned. None of our results come up. So it's very difficult for us to even reach normal people, even if we're still somewhat present on this platform. So the only way that we can really do that is if you people, you good people out there, kind of share our work, share our videos, or at least even share the information that's being presented. I try my best not to swear. So if you can, please come and support me. Links in the description. Huge thanks. And if you do come and support me on Patreon, you won't miss anything. That's guaranteed, because everything gets posted there first and foremost, sort of thing. I just uploaded yesterday's live show to BitChute. So I had to take it down on Greta Thunberg and all that. It's pretty good one, I would say. And it should be up by now on BitChute. I can't be sure. I don't have my page loaded or anything, but it should be up there. So hopefully it is. I will definitely post a link on my Patreon for that. And yeah, thanks everyone for fighting the good fight and standing up to this stuff. And give me a thumbs up. Hey, It's the least you can do. Make sure you're subbed to the other channels while they're still there. Bookmark my BitChute. And have a wonderful day. And hey, guess what? Maybe I'll see you tonight. I'm not sure. I might do a live show tonight. Maybe around 8 or 9. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm probably going to do one at least this weekend. I may go tonight. I'll see if I can do it. All right? Thanks so much for taking the time to listen. I wish you all a wonderful day.